Yo, you guys, welcome back. I know it's been a minute since I last posted a video, but I've been waiting on the game to pique my interest somewhat, like how Remnants did. And since you clicked on the video, you kind of know I chose the game closest to Remnants. I mean, Outriders, of course. But first, before I get into that, I'm gonna start this off. All right, Outriders should not be a goddamn $60 AAA title. No one should pay $60 for this game. Wait for it to go on sale. This is a $40 title and lower game. Wait for the sale to come. But I will say I enjoyed the game. While seeing all of his flaws and downfalls, I like the aspect of being powerful and just mowing down groups of enemies with weapons or freezing the map with ash and then blowing up everything. Like, that stuff is fun. I found some of the mobs difficult and others unfairly difficult too. And at the end, I went from playing the game in a group to playing it solo because, when things get annoying, people drop the game. This game needs a lot of fixing when it comes to enemies because stronger enemies either unhinge the game's rhythm by constantly forcing you out of cover to a point of cover not being useful and giving like sort of faulty reasoning to get the player to switch up how they play the game. Like there are multiple bosses in the game where cover is just not available. Where it's like, yo, I thought this was a cover based shooter. This is boss battle. Where the cover at, bro? There's no cover, bro. I'm trying to sleep. There's no covers on the bed, bro. You can't do this to me. Like, how I can't beat this, bro. It aggravates me, bro. It kind of gets on my nerves. Just look at this clip of a hunting target that I was chasing. He behaves like 90% of the elites in this game. He full on rushes you with the ability to one shot you while having auto aim top tier hit scan bullets in the HP of a rugby player who popped 2 Advils before the game. Like, it's crazy, bro. And I've seen that before. That's crazy, bro. This became a game of hide and seek. And don't get me started with the Strix. These exoskeletal pieces. Oh boy. These bug type enemies make my heart rate go from resting to flight or flight mode the instant they appear because they do massive acid damage, massive melee damage from 40 yards away, and massive projectile damage. If they replace these enemy models with like a chopper gunner with missiles and a chainsaw launcher, I honestly won't be able to tell the difference. I'd be like, oh, this enemy fits the game perfectly, bro. Like, it's still one-shotting me with melee weapons from a distance. This is incredible. Nice change of aesthetics there, but it fits. Let me cool off a bit, though. Let me cool off. Even with all of these, I still play the game. Why? Why, you ask? Why continue to play it if you aren't 100% enjoying it? Because it's still somewhat entertaining for a looter shooter. And one of the most recent ones that's just been released. I also want to try other builds to see if it helps out in any way. Like, especially with the extremely tanky units, that's just bro, get a pistol. Get a pistol that deals a lot of damage because you're gonna need it. You don't want to have to continue to go back to reload your weapon or find a crate because they get tanky, extremely tanky. Like, I remember fighting one melee boss in a circle. This is spoilers. I'm pretty sure you guys aren't that crazy about the story. The story isn't that insane, mind blowing. You're not gonna, oh my god, I didn't expect that to happen type thing. Like, his level. But after one of the main characters in the game dies, you get a boss battle where it has no cover at all. The boss is literally a melee unit that spawns melee units. That if you apply too many status effects, the statuses don't affect him. And he has AoE casting abilities and he has the ability to one hit you, and he auto target jumps at your kneecaps, bro. Like that, in a sense, it's like, yo, what are we doing here, bro? What was this battle trying to achieve? How are you trying to make me switch up my setup? Are you trying to make me go for a freeze build to freeze him? But if I freeze him too much, he becomes immune to that freeze. Ash, slow. Too much ash, he's immune. Poison? Too much poison, he's immune. So the battle became stale. It was like, what? Why am I here, bro? Well, why am I suffering through this? Like, the fact that you don't get iframes when you roll in this game is one of the most fantastical things I've ever thought of. I'm like, yo, I didn't notice we didn't get iframes until like halfway through the game. I'm like, yo, do we not get iframes when we roll? And someone told me, like, the person I'm playing with told me, like, nah, bro, they don't give you iframes. I'm like, why am I rolling? Why am I rolling when I don't get iframes? Iframes is one of the most feedback friendly things you could put into a video game. That's literally rewarding the player for dodging at a specific moment in which they could have taken damage. So it requires timing and somewhat skill on the player's part. So when you put the ability to dodge roll into a game and just leave out the invincibility frames, that's kind of like, but it's kind of like shitting with the bathroom open. Like, you can't sit down and take a shit on that toilet with the bathroom door open and expect the house not to stink. Just like you can't press that roll button and expect not to get iframes. Like, you're gonna expect that happen. You're gonna expect that to happen. Like, you're gonna expect the house to stink because you took that shit with the door open. Like, it amazes me. Like, the biggest thing that blows my mind is this game with no iframes. Like, why do you have a game with no iframes? Like, even the most difficult of games had iframes. Of course, you know what I'm gonna say next. What game is coming next? Dark Souls, Sekiro, Bloodborne, Sekiro again. You know why I said Sekiro again? Because, oh my god, if you guys have seen my videos on Sekiro, that game has put me through hell. Like, that game was difficult. Like, difficult. And they had iframes. I get it was like purely a melee based game. It wasn't a cover shooter. But it gave you enemies that was somewhat unique, and they rewarded you for dodging at the right time. Same thing with Dark Souls. They rewarded you for dodging at the right time. Like, for me, it feels like that's typical player feedback. Like, to initiate a feedback loop, you gotta have something that starts the action, which is the roll, and then a follow-up to make the player feel like they've done something. Without iframes, it don't feel like you've done anything. It just feel like, oh, you got a little bit farther. Like, oh, okay, dang. I think I moved a little bit. Bro, you saw me take 2 steps? Yeah, I saw you take 2 steps. Like that's the stuff I see. Like, that's what I feel when I roll, and it doesn't change anything. I'm like, oh, shit, yeah, man, you got it, bro, you got it. But enough with the rolls. Enough with the rolls. I'm not talking about rolls anymore. Because this game fits in one, but okay. Let's chat about the unevenness of this game. This game, it strays from the path of consistency. Think about it. Oh, my bad, I moved my mic. That joint was screaming. Like how I scream when I see a Strix spawn in front of me, bro. Oh my god. But when I lost my train of thought. Okay, back on it. Yeah, consistency. So this game is straight from that path. If you see some bosses, one of the biggest bosses I'm gonna point out is the infested. I'm gonna call them the infested because, bro, they're infested with the aether energy, the storm energy. So they mutated, and the big ones that apply the non-status effect armor onto themselves. Yeah, you could shoot that off. I have no problem with that. That armor isn't much unless you have three of them jumping at you at once. That auto locks. But not thinking about that. The big ones who have the telegraphed attacks, like the one that crawls and shoots laser beams, and the one that has a melee attack and a jump. That's the pretty much the godfather of the jumping white enemies. Like when he does a swing attack, the circle for indication pops up sometimes, not all the time. And when it pops up, it's so transparent that it's hard to see. Like if you are in the middle of his fire attack that he sends towards the enemies, you can't do anything. Like you physically, it's hard to see the circle. Like you won't know until you hit you. Like if you're hiding around a corner and you can't see him, there's no indication. Like it's literally impossible unless you're at the edge of that circle where you see a hint of red on the ground. You're like, oh, maybe I should dodge back a bit. Like you can't see it. And the same thing for the enemy that crawls. Like he slams on the ground multiple times, but those don't have indications. When he slams in a hexagon, it has no indication. But when he's charging up a laser beam, it has an indication, but only in the area of the laser beam that he's shooting forward. And then when he swings it side to side, there's no indication that he's going to do that. It's just like, oh, this laser beam's coming straight at you, and then it moves after it shoots. It's like, At that point, like, why even have the indication? I feel like when you're fighting these enemies, you have to have had died to it before, had gotten hit by it in order to understand or see what's coming at you. Like, you can't just go into the fight fresh, new. Oh, this is the indication. Dodge. This is the indication. Dodge. No. Even when they have the indications, a lot of the time, the attacks auto target. So like the tall white enemy with the claw, the godfather of the jumping white enemies. When he does his ground scrape that spawns spikes towards you, like there's no indication for that. If you're really far away, you don't and can't see it. And if he's on his last leg of health, there's literally no indication. There's no wind up. He does it instantaneously, and it auto targets you. Yes, you can dodge with no iframes. You can dodge and hope it doesn't hit you, but it's gonna hit you. People may ask, hey, if you're annoyed by this game, why do you continue to play it? Why? Why not play something else? Why not hop on Destiny? Why not go back to Remnants? First of all, Remnants, I beat Remnants. It's a great game. I love the game. Played it for hours. Made multiple videos on it. You guys seen the channel. Or you could go and check it out. Like, I like the game. I beat it. I'm good. That game is settled. And then Destiny, I'm more good on that. In my opinion, it's not the funnest game. It's more on the boring side. Unless you're doing raids. Unless you're doing raids with people who don't know how to do the raids. I mean, because if they know how to do the raids and they're doing their weekly raid, it's more like if you're new, you're holding them back, and it's them waiting for you to get into the groove and know what's going on. And it's like, I'm good. That fun experience that I could have had isn't there because I kind of know everything, so I'm good. Eh. Plus, I just want to get my $60 out of the game, and I want to try out a few more builds. So, at the end of the day, when the game annoys me and I don't want to play it anymore, you know what I just do? I just